Gut health Q&A, ask me anything time, guys. Welcome. How are you doing? Let me know, guys, if you have anything to ask me about gut health, nutrition, anything at all. I wanted to pop in and do a little ask me anything session. So ask away if you guys have any frustrating symptoms that you need support in right now or requests for advice. I would love to help you out and support you guys. We did get a few questions, so I'm going to go ahead and chat about them. Let me see if I can get them pulled up here. Amazing. Okay, so we got one on my biggest tips for constipation. So, yeah, this is a big one, guys. So, one of my biggest ones that I go to is, are you eating enough? So many times, especially when we have gut issues, we are just not eating enough. And a lot of times that can come from just not being confident or comfortable eating a lot of foods because they make us feel so terrible. So, a lot of times with my clients and the different people who join the Gut Fix group program, they are just not eating enough. They're not eating a variety of foods to have enough bulk to have a good bowel movement. So that's number one that I ask about. Of course, eating enough fiber plays a role. However, I don't like to give the advice to eat more fiber because oftentimes by the time clients are coming to me, they are eating enough fiber. They know that they need to be eating fiber, so it's not the most helpful advice. But if you're not eating a lot of fiber, that can help. Drinking enough water. So if we're not keeping our gut and our intestines lubricated with enough water to push things through, things are going to get hung up and stuck in there and cause a lot of constipation. So I always say at least half of your body weight in ounces of water. So for example, let's say you weigh 100 pounds and half of 100 is 50, so at least 50 ounces per day. But if you're struggling with constipation or if you're super active, then you want to bump that up even more. So I always say to be doing at least, I would say at least 75 to 100 ounces of water per day. But of course, it's going to depend on so many different factors: your height, your weight, physical activity, where in the world you live, the climate, all of that good stuff. But as a rule of thumb, that's a pretty good number to shoot for. But if you're constipated, bump it up. Another big tip is magnesium supplement. Guys, this one changed my life. I'm not even kidding you. So when I was struggling with gut issues, you guys all know my story that I also struggled with gut issues for so many years. So I understand where you're coming from. And constipation was one of my biggest symptoms. And it was so frustrating. It just makes you feel like crap. I totally understand. And the biggest thing that helped me was including a magnesium supplement. Now, there's so many different forms of magnesium that are out there. You're going to see things like magnesium citrate, magnesium malate. There's so many different ones out there. The one that I would encourage you guys to look for is magnesium glycinate. So magnesium glycinate is better absorbed and just works a lot better in my opinion. So magnesium glycinate, I love. The Miracle Worker from Gut Personal, I'm going to link it because it is truly so amazing. Gut Personal is our sister company here, and we rely on such high quality. We have very high standards when it comes to our products. They are all clinically developed, tested, and they freaking work. They are in the dosages that are actually going to make a difference for you, and they are going to work. So we love the Miracle Worker, which is our highly absorbable form of magnesium, and it's incredible. It can be really, really helpful. So magnesium glycinate, magnesium citrate can sometimes be helpful. I avoid things like magnesium oxide. I just don't think they work very well. They're not absorbed. So that's my take on that. Other things, managing stress. So stress can cause constipation because think about it. If you're chronically stressed, if you're always stressed out, your body is going to subconsciously be stressed and tight. So you're not going to be moving through your intestines very well. Things aren't going to be moving through. So managing stress, also getting in some gentle movement, but not overdoing it. You need to have that happy medium with exercise. So don't be doing like an hour and a half HIIT style training workout that leaves you feeling absolutely dead and exhausted at the end of it, but you also don't want to be completely sedentary and not moving your body. So you want to get up, have some gentle movement, maybe some walking, Pilates, stretching, moving your body can help kind of move things along as well. Let me think if I have some other tips. At the end of the day, you got to figure out what's causing your constipation in the first place. Because if you are listening to these tips and you're like, "Oh, yeah, Jillian, I've tried all those though, and like I'm still struggling with constipation," it's time to take a look at what's causing the constipation in the first place. Do you not have enough good gut bacteria? Do you have a yeast overgrowth? Do you have a parasite? Do you have a gut infection? Do you not have enough digestive enzymes to break down your food so that it can get to your intestines and get flushed out? So there's so many things that can be causing the constipation, and you don't know until you get that testing to figure out what it is. And then you can treat that and feel better so much faster. So I really encourage you to maybe consider doing some additional testing. We do give the testing out in the Gut Fix, which we start on Tuesday. So there's still a few spots if anyone's interested. They're up for grabs, and I would love to have you guys. And I think that would be a really big needle mover in curing your constipation for good and not just slapping another Band-Aid on there. All right, let's move on to the next question. I've been like talking so much today. I've actually been training, or I've been filming a lot of the trainings for the Gut Fix. So I'm sorry if I'm a little bit brain dead today. It's been a lot of talking, but I mean, I absolutely love it. All right, so the next question I got was, what causes smelly gas about an hour after eating? And you've been tested for bacteria and negative. So what I would ask you is, what exactly were they testing? When you say they tested for bacteria, there could be many things that are causing this, first off. But one of the most common is the small intestine bacterial overgrowth, especially because you said that it happens about an hour after eating. So it happened pretty soon after you ate. So if you think about it, you have your stomach. Right after your stomach, that food's going to go down into your small intestine. Then after your small intestine, it goes down into your large intestine, and then it exits your body. So if you're getting that smelly gas shortly after eating, then that's making me think that you may have a bacteria overgrowth in your small intestine. So we don't want a lot of bacteria in our small intestine. We want our small intestine to be pretty sterile, not a ton of bacteria, and we want all the bacteria down in our colon. So that's where we want the majority of it. SIBO, if you've ever heard of that, it's small intestine bacterial overgrowth. It's basically when the bacteria that's supposed to be down in your large intestine makes its way up into your small intestine. And then that's when you may be feeling a lot of symptoms shortly after you eat, because the food shortly after you eat goes to your small intestine, where then that bacteria is going to feed on it. And that produces a lot of gas. And this can be really smelly gas because that bacteria is not supposed to be there. It's not supposed to be eating up that food. And if the small intestine is really where you're going to be absorbing your nutrients. So that's the purpose of the small intestine. So if you have a lot of bacteria in there that's gobbling up this food, you're not absorbing those nutrients. So then you may be malabsorbing your nutrients, and you're not getting it into your body. You're passing it through your stool, which can make it really smelly, and it can make that gas really smelly. So if you say, though, that you've been tested for bacteria, maybe you have been tested for that small intestine bacterial overgrowth, I would then look at maybe a parasite. The other thing that comes to mind when I read that question is possible parasite. Parasites make gas really smelly. All really gut infections can make it really smelly. Things like E. coli or salmonella or all these different pathogens that we actually test for in our comprehensive stool testing. We check for all of that. And if I have a client who comes to me and they say that they have really smelly gas and it's embarrassing and it's uncomfortable, I'm immediately doing the stool test so we can figure out what it is. Is it the SIBO like I was talking about, or do you have an underlying parasite or gut pathogen that's throwing things off? So I hope that answers that question. I really, really empower you to seek out the testing for it, because I totally understand how embarrassing and uncomfortable excess gas can be, especially when it's really smelly and you know that something is not right in there. You're usually very right on that, and there probably isn't something right in there. So I would encourage you to seek out additional testing to figure out what it is so that you can treat that and get rid of this symptom, because you can be doing all the things right, but if you're not treating the root cause, you guys aren't going to be feeling better. So that's really why we put such a heavy emphasis on personalization within the Gut Fix. Yes, the Gut Fix is a group program, but it's so unique in that we've put a very heavy emphasis on personalization. That's why I love it so much. That's why it just works magic, because we get all the benefits of a group program, being part of a powerful, like-minded community of amazing women, but you also are getting the personalization piece because every single person gets that comprehensive stool test, and then you get a personalized plan one-on-one from me where we are tailoring a plan for you for both supplements, nutrition, lifestyle to exactly what is going on within your gut. So it's very personalized. We have ongoing coaching sessions within the group program. So we're constantly checking in with each other. We're making adjustments. If something isn't flowing well for you, if it feels a little stuck, we're working to overcome that because I am a registered dietitian, but I'm also a nutrition coach. So I am here to support you guys and to coach you through the struggles that you're going through because you do not deserve to go through life feeling like crap. You just don't. Nobody does. And I was there, so I know the toll that it can take both mentally and physically on your life. And I want you to know that you are so deserving of living a life that is abundant and powerful and confident. I mean, life is short. Why should we go through it feeling like crap? So if you guys are sitting here and you are struggling with gut issues, I would love to invite you into the Gut Fix. We still have some spots open, but the doors close next week because we literally start next week. I am so excited to get started. We're going to have an amazing group. So if you guys are interested in joining, I will put the link into the comments here, and I would love to invite you guys in. So let me know if you guys have any other questions. You guys don't even have to wait until I do a Gut Health Ask Me Anything. You guys can ask me questions anytime. Put it into this group here. Tag me so I can see it. And I am here to support you guys and getting you feeling better. So let's do this. Go Gut Health.